And this will be the last thing we talk about today, will be the character creation. Now, we're only doing the overview. In fact, I may just focus on one page here because I have a character creation video that has been scripted. It has not been recorded yet, but it will be done before this Mutant Year Zero series. Oh my God. Mutant Chronicles series is over. So I already have a character walk step by step, the thought process, every little bit of character creation will be in a different video. So today we're going to look at the 8 attributes and then we're going to look at what the steps are. So the 8 attributes are agility. I think you can figure that out. Awareness. Now, awareness is interesting because awareness, when you're making your character like aware, there's no point to awareness. Nothing I do deals with awareness. It affects your range damage. So, and kind of, I mean, with the way these attributes work, that makes sense. Coordination, intelligence, mental strength, which again, we've played Palladium games, right? So that kind of makes sense to us, you know, ME, right? Mm-hmm. Personality, physique, and strength. I don't think that those need to be really described too much. No. Mental strength is important for folks who want to be magic users. So character creation, it uses a life path system, and there are 2 ways to do it. You can roll for most of them and have 5 points to kind of spread around to tweak things, which I go through very in-depth in my character creation video. Or if you're the wackadoodles out there who don't like any sort of randomness out there and just want to buy everything, there is a system, the optional point buy system, which just gives you 12 points. There are 8 steps. So essentially you just 1 point per step and you figure out what you want to do, and you can spend a couple extra points at a couple different steps to tweak things in your favor.
But you get more points if you use the life path system. You end up with more.
Well, no, both. Well, you have more points. The point buy system, the points are used to tweak the rolls.
Right.
That's all they're used for. The life points are used to tweak the rolls. But since you're not rolling at all, you're essentially spending points at every section. That's why you get the extra points.
Okay.
So, as always, I like the rolling method. You know, and I'll tell you that the 5 points when I do the character for the real character creation video, I only spent two of the 5 points. I saved all the rest.
You don't spend them all.
They add bonuses to your character at the end.
Oh,
at the end of character creation, like extra skills or an attribute increase.
Neat. Okay.
So you do get a benefit from them. So here are the 8 decisions in the life path. Decision 1: select starting attributes, and look, they start at 5, and you can do a couple things. You can lower an attribute by 1 to raise it by 1, but the minimum is 4, the maximum is 6. The other thing you can do if you want to, I think this is a waste personally, but maybe you have a reason for it, is you can spend a life point, one of your 5 life points, and just say this one's a 6 without reducing something. Seems a bit expensive to me when you see what else life points can do, but you can do that. Decision 2, determine birth faction. Now, if you just have your heart set, I have to be Mishima, well, then maybe you want to spend a life point here. It's not that big of a deal for me. Like maybe because I'm not that invested in the game, it's not that big, that big of a deal for me. So you gain a skill from your faction, and maybe I'll scroll through that in a minute. But you'll gain a skill from your faction and a talent. What's a talent? It's a skill, a specialization. I think that's the best way to say it. That's what a talent is. So you'll have total of 3. And if Heathen Dog knows how to fisticuff, right? He's got the fisticuff skill. His first talent might be knock you ass out. All right. So now his punches do more or whatever. Obviously, these aren't the real ones in the game.
My fist is ever ready for a knockdown blow.
There you go. Like for a ranged weapon, the first one is sniper. It just means you get to potentially up your damage. I think it's kind of a misnomer, but whatever. You get a language, you get 2 languages actually, and a faction event. It's these events that are going to F you over. Not the random rolls for what faction you're from or whatever, unless you have your heart sold on something. It's these events that could be good or bad and always like to kick me in my left testicle. The same one over and over again because it hurts and hurts worse and hurts even worse than that. This game hates me when it comes to faction events. I believe it's 50-50 chance. I don't know that.
That's not your experience.
That's not my experience. And you'll probably get a trait from that. All right, decision 3 is your social status. You'll gain attribute bonuses based on that. Now, if you live uppity up, chances are you're not building the strength, right? You're building the mind because you have more access to books. And that's kind of how these factions work. Are they stereotypical? Sure, why not? But who cares? If you want to pick something, you can. The only thing you can't pick is ultra wealthy. And like, again, I can show that in a little bit. We'll scroll through that. You'll get an item of interest, which could be useful or could just be a role-playing hook, or it could be something that you could sell. But apparel and lodging, it'll pretty much tell you what kind of clothes you wear and what sort of living conditions you live in, whether you're living in the slums or you're living in the penthouse. Decision 4 is determine your environment. Pretty much where were you raised? It's more location, but it's your environment. Get another attribute bonus based on that, equipment, resource, and the option to spend life points to pick the result. You really have option to spend life points on all the. Oh, okay, never mind. They do say it here. Decision 5 is the first big one. These first 4, you're done in just a few minutes. This is where things get big. Determine your education. This is your adolescence. This is your secondary, or your pre-secondary, whatever, kindergarten through high school education, right? You're going to gain attribute, but you're going to gain a ton of attribute bonuses. Skills, free career picks. Now, what that means is normally you have to roll for your career. I should probably zoom in on this. You normally have to roll for your career. But depending on your education level, you may be able to pick a career because of your education. So like my character, I spent my 2 life points that I spent on officer training. So I was allowed to pick military as a career or executive. Those are my 2 choices, or I had to roll. Executive probably would have been the better one, but it didn't fit the theme for the character, so I went military. Spoiler alert. Anyway, and you're also going to have an event, and that's where I became addicted. In officer training school, I became addicted. All right, decision 6 and decision 7, I'm going to combine together.
Okay.
This is your primary career. You will have a primary career. There are lots of caveats to this. You could be unemployed if you want to. You could get fired, but let's do this simply, okay? You're going to have a normal career. This is probably the other place where you may want to spend life points to get a role on a different chart. Else, you're probably going to be a farmer or some low-wage worker, and you're not going to have any money. But there's nothing to say that the way this game works, the life path system is only a starting point, right? So
yeah, Luke Skywalker farmed water, for God's sake.
Yes.
All right. So grow a pair.
And this game takes that into consideration because he went from, that's a great, I didn't even think about it. That's a great analogy because he went from decision 6 to decision 7. Now, decision 6 is one, you must have one primary career and you must have either one more primary career or, which could be the same one, or an iconic career. Basically, you have to have 2 career phases, as they call them. You can have up to 4 if you want. You want to make your character a little older? Go for it. You can do that. However, you only get the attribute increases one time. That is it, one time, and that's in decision 6. The first time you do decision 6. After that, you get the skill bonuses, but you will not get the attribute bonuses. So what's decision 7? If you meet the entry requirements, and all of them have prerequisites, and we'll look at them in a moment, you can be one of the iconic careers. You could join the Brotherhood. You could be one of those conquistadors that likes to touch things that they're not supposed to touch. Or you could be what I did with my character. I became a blood beret. Super soldier. Well, a competent soldier. But I get to wear my beret everywhere, right?
It's made of blood, apparently.
What's that?
And it's made of blood, apparently.
Well, it's not made of blood, but you know how, like in the Air Force, we had the Scarlet Berets and the Maroon Berets for PJs and CCT. I think I got it backward though. For combat controllers, well, they're blood berets, so they're kind of in the middle there. Right. They spill a lot of blood. But you not only have to meet the requirements, but you have to make a roll using one of the mandatory skills that comes with the class. For me, it was I had everything, but for me, I used ranged weapons. I rolled my ranged weapons, and it was difficulty 2. So I had to get 2 successes. Yep. 2 successes on a ranged weapon roll. I could have spent points to bump that up, but I said, no, sir. I'm not going to. I made it. I made it on one die, because the other die, I think I did roll that 15 I was talking earlier. I didn't make it. But I got like a 2 or a 1 or something on the other die. I was like, yes, thank God. So what happens if you roll, I want to be a blood beret, but I can't? Well, you go right back to decision 6 and you just pick a basic career. That's so fine. They still give you skills. It's not like the iconic careers. You have to be that in order to be successful in the game. Not at all. Not at all. But they're iconic, so they give you a little more. And like I said, you could do that up to 8 times. Up to 4 times. I read 8 down here. And then finally, you've got your career, you've got your education. Now you do the final customization. This is where you gain 2 Chronicle points to start. Convert up to 2 life points for 2 extra Chronicle points. I didn't do that. Further life points may be converted to assets or skills. You can do that. We'll talk about assets at a different time. Assets are not like other games where you buy things. Things cost assets. Instead of saying you have $20,000 and this costs $4,516 and doing math, it's assets. So if you have 10 assets and the item costs 6 assets, well, guess what? You're down to 4 assets. And it's to just simplify the numbers. If you really, really, really are like, no, I have to know exactly that this pencil costs 16 cents. Well, you and your GM can work that out. That's just not how the game works in its default. And I'll be honest with you, I like it. I like it for its simplicity. In the 90s, I probably would have been all about like, no, I need to know specific. No, I liked it for its simplicity now. And then you can spend life points on other things. For me, I did, like I said, I picked 3 skill foci because I could do that. And you determine your starting wounds. These are configured attributes, configured stats, whatever you want to call it. Your starting wounds, character traits, yada, yada. And we'll zip through the some of the charts real quickly. The ones I want to focus on are ones I mentioned earlier. So here you go. Get 2 languages, Capital, Lumen, or Patois. You get these 2 skills. You can pick one of them as a signature skill, which we didn't talk about. That's fine. We'll talk about that later. And that's kind of your, I don't like the way they word it here, but this is your talent. You're a citizen. As a citizen, you get all the benefits of being a citizen, but also you have to follow the laws. And because of that, I can tell you that as Imperial, I can go up to another Imperial member and ask for water and air, and he has to say yes once. I need to breathe and I need to drink. Here you go. I want to do it again. You know what? Maybe you should leave. All right. But you know what? At least I got 1 drink out of you.
I don't know you, bitch.
Here, again, you roll your faction event table. I got, for mine, where was it? Grandfather's pistol. That's strictly legal. Your family has kept an old aggressor pistol. My character's like 9 aggressor pistols. That's a character creation by the time I was done because of how Imperial works. But
like Wyatt Earp.
Yeah, it's So now, how much damage does this old aggressor pistol do? Well, I don't have I haven't looked at the faction book. According to this book, there's no answer to that. That's up to you and your GM. Maybe in like the faction book, it'll tell you. Maybe your GM wants to say, it's just the same as the modern one. I don't care. But, that's something you can work out with your GM. Scroll down here. Assets, impoverished, up to wealthy. You cannot pick wealthy. You can pick affluent, but you cannot pick wealthy with points. So you have to roll that one. And here are the skills you get. So I was working lower, so I got resistance. And,
Fight the power.
Yeah, right. Scroll through. Hey, scroll through here a little bit more. These are the regions. I think I had Luna. Did I have Luna City? I forget. No, I was sequestered. I was sequestered in a clan or fortress estate, which is another reason why I went the officer route, because I kind of felt it made sense. If I'm sequestered in some sort of imperial estate, it seems like I would be trained in what that faction would want to do, right?
Regimented, into the regiments.
Yeah. Education, like I said, this is where things get crazy. You get attribute improvements, mandatory. So what mandatory skills are is you must take those skills. It's like OCC skills from Palladium. Elective skills are like OCC related skills, except for it gives you an option of 3, you pick 2 of them. So, and 1 rank in each of those. This is what it looks like when you get your bonus. This actually isn't the bonus. This is showing the character right there. These are the bonuses right here. Attribute improvements. So going to be a bunch of those. We're going to skip through and see. This book is a lot of stats. That's why it's so thick. It's simple.
But you're never going to have to read all of them because these are all rolls.
Absolutely.
You roll them and then you move to that section. You choose one or you write it down, then you move on to the next section.
Do you have 2d20 near you? Can you roll 2d20?
Sure.
All right. Add them together.
Oh, wow. 36.
36? Okay, let's see.
2 18s.
36. So your adolescent event would be you stood up to the muggers as a kid, have done it many times over, and have the scars to show it. You have a trait called reckless.
That seems smart. How is that reckless?
because you keep doing it.
If you don't stamp the bullies, they just come back.
But you get an extra dark symmetry die for close combat. That's generally a good thing. That means more possible damage.
Wait, that means I give a dark symmetry die to the GM?
No. It means you roll an extra d6 for damage. Remember when we looked at those d6s before? 1, 2, and the squiggly symbol count.
Oh, 1, 2, crappy 3, 4, and 5, and then the squiggly symbol.
Yeah. So 1 and 2 means that's extra damage. So if you roll a 2, you did 2 extra damage, and you get that every time you throw a punch. So you're reckless, but hey, you know what?
I put my soul into it.
Yeah. All right. So that's what a faction event looks like. I don't know what reckless actually means. It'll be in the book somewhere, but that's beyond the scope of this. That's for you. I'm showing you to get you interested in the game. I'm not showing you everything about it. So primary career. All right. So here are those columns. You have to roll on column A. That's it. Roll on column A unless you spend life points. So, or in my case, I could have been a corporate executive because of my education.
Sure.
Or military basic, which I picked military basic because it just fit the character more.
All right, so wait, no, let me get this straight. You roll, but you also have to meet the basic requirements.
There are no requirements for your primary career tale.
Oh, okay, all right.
There are only requirements for the iconic. Yep.
Okay, got it. Check. Copy that.
So, and let's look at what did I was military basic. That should be right down here. So what I get for military basic, I know I could have looked at the education one, but let's stop at this one for a second. I get bonus 2 to my strength, bonus 2 to my physique, a bonus 1. So if my physique, remember, it started at 5, right? And then whatever my education did to it. Well, let's just say it's 5. Well, this now makes it a 7. So awesome. Mandatory skills. I get athletics, close combat, ranged weapons. What if you already have them? Well, you just add another rank to them.
Awesome.
Elective skills, survival, acrobatics, mechanic. I took survival and mechanic. Why, as I a military person, why would I want to take survival and mechanic and not acrobatic? I mean, acrobatics is balancing. It is, it kind of uses the move attribute to some regard. The way I see it is if I can't get that truck running.
Yeah. Jumping around doing weirdo flips is not going to save my life.
It can, but yeah.
It can, but not in the long run. Getting out in a truck, that'll save my life.
And survival, I might want to find, some food, some water.
Yeah. Rub some sticks together, make a fire. Sounds good to me.
Now, I'm allowed to pick one of these 4 as signature skills. Athletics, close combats, ranged weapons, or survival.
You already picked survival. Oh, you get an extra rank. Okay, got it.
Yeah. Well, no. Signature skills, this is what it changes. All skills can only rank up to 3.
Okay.
3 expertise, 3 focus is the max of your skills. Okay. A signature skill can go to 5. You can only have 3 signature skills at the end of character creation, but you're right. I think I picked survival for the first one. So for this one, I'm pretty sure I picked ranged weapons. When the video comes out, you'll know. So then I get a talent for being military. Pick 1 talent from mandatory skills. So I could pick a talent from athletics, close combat, or ranged weapons. I picked ranged weapons and I picked sniper. You see how this works?
Yeah.
Earnings rating 1. I probably should have talked about earnings ratings a little more. Earnings ratings cannot go down. So
of course not. You only got a 1.
Well, no. I started with a 2. My earlier roll was a 2.
And it did go down.
No, it cannot go down.
Oh, so this didn't matter.
This didn't matter. So what that means is that my military pay might be crap, but I got some residuals on the side. See, I'm live streaming for my residuals for my character. But my earnings ratings too. During character creation, during the life path process, earnings can't go down. And then here's the equipment it gives me, and we won't go into all that. But this is an example of what it is. So what did we do next? We did the iconic career. Oh no, can you roll me 2d20 again?
Sure. Is that a 6? Yeah, it's a 6. 24.
24. You were remembered in the will of a relative. Why do you get good ones?
Woohoo! I'm rich, biatch.
You were remembered in the will of a relative. Gain 2 assets at the age of 20. Now remember, that's like saying you got money. Remember, assets are just money. It goes up. You spend assets in the game. All right. If you gain a criminal record before then, you do not receive it. So if your rolls before this point, you actually wouldn't get it.
Oh well,
but we didn't.
With the system.
But we didn't. We didn't roll, so you're fired. So He's getting all the good ones. I gotta see how, you know, I screwed up. Okay, let's now go to our iconic career, and we'll look at over a couple of these. The first one's the heretic. Don't be one.
Oh,
Do you want to be that?
well, it depends. What do the female heretics look like?
Okay, fair. Inquisitor. These are Brotherhood type people.
That looks heavy. I'm not.
He carries a book and a chainsaw. Come on.
Yeah, it looks heavy though. I don't want to carry that around everywhere.
Fair. What's this one? The Mystic. Again, these are Brotherhood. And here, when we get to the blood beret, I'll stop and I'll actually show what the thing. Oh, we're gonna get there. The Mortificator. Who's he? Oh, he's from Brotherhood.
This looks like it's gonna give me lower back problems in about a year.
Well, yeah, that's diesel punk for you. Absolutely. Here are the idiots who touched the thing. This is who you blame.
Oh, okay. Yep. And he looks like the one I would want to be too, because he's carrying around less weight.
All right.
The other guys can't run for shit.
So, murders and acquisition agent. And then here's the blood brain. We'll look at that in a moment. So here's your murders and acquisition agent.
Okay, well there you go. There you go. That is some comfortable gear right there.
Well, I don't know. That gun looks like it hurts the wrist.
Well, all right, fair enough. I'd probably get a smaller gun, but everything else, you know, it looks great. Like fashionable wear day and night. You know, it looks great.
You could wear that black trench coat everywhere, right? All right. Yeah. So what did we get for the blood beret? Well, the prerequisites for being a blood beret is you have to be Imperial. Okay. You're not Imperial, you're not going to be a blood beret, right? Yep. Military education or primary career. Is that not what I said for my character?
Basic military, yeah.
Yeah. Close combat or ranged weapons expertise 1. Well, since the first point you put into a skill is expertise, yeah, I have both. I made all of these. Again, I'm spoiling a lot of that character creation video, but you'll at least see the step-by-steps, exactly the thought process through it. The difficulty, though, is 2. So I'm rolling my 2d20. Now, you can spend life points to make the roll easier by lowering the difficulty down. So, now what do I get for being a blood beret?
Hang on, wait. What are you using to determine success on this 2d20 roll?
So one of your mandatory skills. So for here, it's ranged weapons, stealth, or athletics. Well, I didn't take athletics. I didn't have any stealth at this point, so I pretty much had to use ranged weapon.
Okay. All right.
And I used ranged weapon, and I made that roll. So I made the roll, and I was accepting the blood beret. If I had not, I would have had to have gone back to the normal step 6.
And get a second basic career.
Yes. Now, could I have tried for the blood beret again after that? Sure, as long as I don't pass 4 careers. 4 career phases, I should say.
Sure.
So now I get mandatory skills. So another rank in ranged weapons, stealth, and athletics. And this is where my character creation might go a little weird for some people when you see that video. From this point forward, almost every point went into stealth.
That seems weird.
I have a thought process, and you can find out about that when you watch that video.
All right.
Elective skills, close combat, mechanics, command, exactly as before. You picked 2 of them. I picked mechanics and command. Why command? Because it's something I didn't talk about before. I went to officer training school, and I'd already had a trait in command.
So getting a higher skill level in command would help you activate that trait more often.
Yes. Too bad that my personality attribute is pretty low. But hey, you know, some officer training kicked in, right? Signature skills. What this means is I get to pick my 3rd signature skill now, but it must be one of these. I picked stealth because I'd already had ranged weapons. I've been kind of eschewing close combat and athletics since the beginning. And by this point, spoiler, I had been starting to picture my character as more of an Overwatch type officer or even a sniper. So I felt that stealth, along with the survival and the command, I can be on the radio, I can look down at what's going on, I can have I just kind of fit the theme more. Then, oh, by the way, the other thing here is you increase them by 2, not by 1.
Oh, because it's an iconic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Choose 2 talents from close combat, stealth, athletics, or ranged weapons. I forget what I did. I think it was stealth and ranged weapons is what I did, or it might have both been in stealth. I can't remember. And then you get this equipment. Another plasma carbine, another aggressor pistol. I got lots of guns. Combat armor. Mark III combat armor. That stuff is good luck hurting me. And oh, look, my earning ratings goes up. Special Forces gets the special money. Imperials take care of their own.
Well, the ones that die a lot anyway.
Well, hopefully not so much because I'm in Mark III combat armor.
Well,
and you can see all about that, the ins and outs of everything in that character creation video. But there you go. That is, oh, you want to see some more? You can be the crazed. Look at like that dude looks nuts, man.
yeah. Yeah, he's like if I'm not here, I actually have to commit seppuku, so I'd rather be here. But
right.
by only that much.
Right.
And then, oh my God, get off my lawn, you varmint.
All right, what is he called? He's the Triad Enforcer.
Triad Enforcer.
So he takes you off your lawn.
Oh, he's a mafia.
Yeah, he's like, get off your lawn.
Where's his tracksuit and gold chain? That's bullshit.
Well,
oh wait, he's wearing a tracksuit. Never mind.
he's wearing a Diesel Punk tracksuit. There you go.
Diesel Punk tracksuit. He's missing the gold chain. Damn it.
So Shadowwalk. Now you can tell this is cybernetic, right?
Ninja.
Yeah. Well, yeah. This would be the end of Mishima, and this would be Cybertronic. So you got the cyborgs, Cybertronic. Which people don't trust because what does the Dark Symmetry like to attack?
Technology.
Yeah, there you go. I hope you've been starring chat because I'm seeing it spam kind of over there. Not, oh well.
This is more of them talking to each other.
That's okay. Good. And then, oh yeah, the white. Oh my God, I forget the White Star folks. Yeah, I mean they look the iconic part. So.
And then what is that? Yukon Cornelius.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, who is this one? Oh, Night Witch. This is White Star. Okay, so I guess the Russian chicks are kind. Yeah, the Russian dudes look iconic, and the Russian chicks are actually, they actually kind of hot. So I guess it is like Russia. Luna PD Detective. Now, this is for the more non-factional stuff. So, yes, even if you're not part of a faction, you still have the opportunity to become an iconic class.
Sure.
So, and all you need here is observation expertise of 1. So, as long as you got that skill along the way,
you can try it.
Yep. Doom Trooper. That sounds.
Oh, let me see it. Oh, yeah, that's a Space Marine. Yep.
You know what? Why he's a Doom Trooper, right? He's doomed because he doesn't wear a hat.
Yeah, he needs his helmet on to really survive anything. But yeah, that looks like a Space Marine without his helmet. Yeah. Who's Lady Godiva over there?
Hold on. Do you know what protects your head in this game?
What?
Big shoulder pads.
That's actually fair. Yeah, okay.
Celebrity. You're playing the rocker.
Oh my God, what are you doing with a gun? You pay Doom Troopers for that. Get out. Get out.
You're playing the rocker from Shadow or what's it called?
A bad thing. Get out. Get out. Just scroll on.
Politician?
No.
And Freedom Brigade.
Oh my God, he is the picture of desperation. Look at his face. I'm dying and there's nothing I can do about it. I'm just gonna empty this belt. Ah!
There you go. Got the marshals. Now you're getting the hoity-toities. He's got a hat.
Yeah, he's a high-ranking Space Marine.
There you go. And then your final decisions, as we looked at before. Do me a favor though.
What?
I'll show that in a moment. No, let's forget. Let's just move on. We've already done the events a couple of times. You kind of see how this works. So here's where you add attributes together. So this is where your awareness. Okay, let me get them right. Bonus damage. Close combat is so awareness is find damage bonus in the right column. So it's just awareness. Okay, the damage bonus table shows the amount of bonus damage character inflicts in either range combat or close combat. To determine range combat damage bonus, use the table opposite, compare the character's awareness. Okay, and close combat is strength, right? Yeah, strength right there. So my awareness was actually lower than my strength for my rifleman character. Guess I'll just have to boost that up. So I had 0, but I had +1. So if this was you already had a +1, right? For close combat, you would actually have +2 dice.
Nice.
So mental health, instead of having hit locations for mental health, you just have 1. This is your sanity. We'll just go with that. And then character traits. These are your different hit point locations. I'm sorry. Your traits are the things that DMs can use against you.
Right.
And then
character flaws.
Right. And here are your wound locations and I'm not going to show the character.
Ding ding.
You don't see ding ding, but that would be torso.
Oh.
Or maybe legs. I don't know. So, and these are optional tables. You can have a relationship with another character. And there's also an optional
D20. Hang on. I want to see it. I want to see if I have a Russian girlfriend. Hang on.
Well, this is with the other characters in the group.
7.
You were both told to meet at the same time, same place, but someone's promising a very special job. Never showed up. So this is like a D&D starting like adventure. You like
okay, like I mean, instead of starting at the bar, this is what happens.
yes. All right. So that is the quick when we will dive into skills. We will dive into traits. We will dive into momentum and chronicle points and spells. There are going to be episodes in each one of them. This was the overview with a strong emphasis on the character creation side of it. This is what a character looks like. Well, the character sheet doesn't look like this, but this is how it would be represented. You can follow everything here, how his wounds look, what skills he's got, his expertise and focus. If you look down here, yada, yada. This is
awareness is 7. Was he got his eyes closed most of the time? Jesus.
Yeah. Well, that means he doesn't do any extra damage when he shoots. And by the way, this guy is another blood beret. So
yeah, but is he close quarters? Because he's got the strength of 11. That's pretty good.
Us blood beret, we just don't like to shoot, I guess. Yeah, he might. Yeah, he's gone definitely more. Yeah, because that's signature and everything. He went close combat.
Yeah.
So,
the neck breaker.
Just real quickly, not going to read the stuff here, but just to give you an idea. Experience and gameplay rewards. You get experience points. You get chronicle points, which that says give out a couple every hour. Just keep because characters are supposed to be spending them
with a maximum of 5.
With maximum 5. Now, character. Is the chart here? Is it later? No, it's here. To raise expertise from 1 to 2 costs you 400 experience points.
Okay.
To raise focus from 1 to 2 costs 400 experience points. So, there you go.
hang on. Let me see if I'm reading this right. If you want to get a new skill, or no, you can't use this to get a new skill. If you already have a skill, that's great. But that is what if you want to increase the focus of your skill. So a success has a possibility of being 2 successes. If you roll exceptionally low, you can use 400 to get from 1 to 2.
From 1 to 2. And the only caveat that I would say to what you said, I have not read this in the book, but I've inferred it from the life path system that I have gone through multiple times, is this. Okay. You always start your first rank in a skill at expertise. So when you buy a skill, so let's say you want to buy a skill and put it at rank 1, you'd be buying it here, 200.
Okay, so you can use experience to buy a new skill. You don't have to wait.
Yeah, because you have all the skill. And we'll talk about that when we do the skill section. You have all the general skills. Mm-hmm. So even if you don't have any points in it, you can roll a general skill. So for example, my character has piloting. I can pilot vehicles. I don't have space piloting. Now, with piloting, even without the skill, I can try to figure out how to drive a truck. Without the space pilot skill, I cannot fly a rocket ship. It's a little more complicated. Right. So, and we'll talk about that when we get to the skills. This is an example of what a talent tree looks like. This is a summary, the willpower one. The first one is always the same. Everybody gets the same first talent. Well, within that tree, right? So everybody who wants a willpower talent, the first talent is going to be stubborn. After that, then you can do whatever you want, but you have the prerequisite before it. And sometimes some other prerequisites as well.
Excuse me. Okay, then we'll just go along with that when we do skills.
And there you go. And then that'll be next